How Race Impacts the Glass Escalator by Sam Feldman. For generations, jobs in America have been sex segregated, which has created very different occupational experiences for men and women. One way men have historically experienced work differently than women is referred to as the glass escalator. The glass escalator is defined as the concept that men excel faster in female-dominated fields than women do in the same female-dominated fields. Nursing is a great example of a stereotypical feminine occupation that men advance quickly in. Female-dominated professions such as nursing require feminine traits such as nurturing, caring, and empathy. As a result, men are forced to confront perceptions that they are unsuited for such requirements. But rather than having a negative effect on their occupational experiences, as one might expect, these assumptions actually benefit men and facilitate their entry into better paying, higher status positions compared to women. This is the glass escalator effect. For years, men have experienced consistent advantages over women in the workplace. This trend has held true even in professions where men are numerical minorities, like nursing. Male nurses are likely to experience higher wages and quicker promotions, exemplifying the glass escalator effect. However, the glass escalator model has always assumed a racial homogenization of men workers in female professions, failing to apply the concept of intersectionality. My research has shown that implications exist regarding race intersections for black men in nursing. In other words, a ride on the glass escalator in the nursing profession is unavailable for black men. Having strong relationships with both colleagues and supervisors is imperative to advancing one's career. For black men in nursing, gendered racism may limit their ability to establish bonds with their colleagues and supervisors. Gendered racist stereotypes about black men emphasize dangerous, threatening attributes associated with black masculinity, framing black men as threats to white women, prone to both criminal and violent behavior. These negative stereotypes have very negative consequences for their relationships with both their women coworkers and their supervisors. Rather than experiencing the congenial bonds with colleagues that white men nurses describe, black male nurses face a cooler perception from their women coworkers, while supervisors view them as less capable and qualified for promotion. This minimizes the glass escalator effect as it pertains to black men in nursing. All males in nursing encounter challenges from patients that reinforce the idea that men are not suited for a feminized profession like nursing. However, these roadblocks are also racialized as well as gendered. White male nurses are assumed to be doctors rather than nurses. On the other hand, black male nurses are assumed to be janitors or housekeeping staff rather than nurses. In Adia Harvey's Wingfield's Racializing the Glass Escalator, Wingfield cites an experience a 51-year-old black oncology nurse named Chris had being misidentified by a patient. Chris explains, quote, "I come to work in my white uniform. I said, 'Good evening, my name's Chris and I'm going to be your nurse.' She says to me, 'Are you from housekeeping?' Unquote. Chris explains that he has had other similar cases. He has walked in before and had a patient look at him and ask him if he's the janitor. Clearly, these negative stigmas affect the ability for black male nurses to treat their patients well. Nurses, such as Chris, recognize these stereotypes and try to circumvent the perception by careful self-presentation, such as wearing a white uniform. Ultimately, though, these efforts are met with racial stereotypes undermining their ability to provide medical care. Rather than benefiting from the basic effects of the glass escalator, black male nurses face tense relationships with colleagues, supervisor bias in achieving promotion, and patient stereotypes that inhibit caregiving. These roadblocks suggest the glass escalator is a racialized concept as well as a gendered one. Ultimately, white men are primarily the only racial group of men that consistently experience the benefits of the glass escalator effect in nursing.